You're watching the Manny Fraser Show, where men over 40 learn how to lose fat, build muscle, and dominate life without wasting time on BS. I turned 41 yesterday, and there's one lesson I wish I learned when I was 21. When I was in my 20s, I chased opportunities, I chased women, I chased money, I chased everything. But what I realized is that as I'm chasing these things weren't fulfilling me, right? I'm chasing after women and it wasn't fulfilling me. I was chasing after money. I had all the money in the world, and whenever I had money, I couldn't keep any of it because it was the way I got it. Success isn't about getting more opportunities. It's about becoming the kind of person who is ready when the opportunity shows up. And this is something I realized at 41 with a lot of the things that I've done over the last couple of years and a lot of things that are going to be happening. I just recently did a TEDx. I have my 5th baby. I'm launching a course in the fall. I am speaking at CanFit over the summer. So here's the thing. For me, prison taught me resilience. Good life taught me about leadership. Powerlifting taught me about patience. And fatherhood taught me about purpose. Being more than just one type of person is the thing that helped me the most. Opportunity is going to show up at your doorstep. It's going to call to you saying, hey, I'm here. The question is, are you going to be ready for that opportunity? Or are you going to be like, I'm not ready. I can't do anything. These are one of the things I think about constantly. And I think about it from a point of view of I have 5 kids, just said that. And my 5 kids that are having an entirely different upbringing than myself. One is I live in the suburbs. I grew up in the city, right? So already the things that I saw when I was their age, they're not seeing the same things. They're not seeing the drug addicts. They're not seeing the people, the homeless people as much. They're not seeing struggle as much. What they're seeing is prosperity. And it's very interesting, but these are things I think about. But the opportunities are going to show up in your life. So let's get back into that. The opportunities are going to show up into your life. What are you going to do when you get them? So opportunity is going to show up. So I'll give you some examples of opportunities. I just mentioned that powerlifter, father, prison, TED Talk. So and I don't think about these things as opportunities in terms of it, but I'll give you an example. I went to prison when I was 24, okay? And it took me years to process what happened. And I know some people are like, I went out and I was able to become successful real quickly. I think that when you go into prison, you're kind of left in the place of where you were last at. So I was 24, just figuring out life. Had I went to prison when I figured out life, I would have came out with even more information because I had time to think. I think that prison gives you time to think about the things that they're gonna do when you get out. That's it. You're in a planning stage. You can't be in a planning stage. I was in a planning stage. I was in a stage of all right, I'm gonna do this. I was playing chess because I knew I couldn't make a move, but I knew there were little micro moves I can make at that moment. And the micro moves were things like start reading books, start working on my body, start working on my mind, these types of things that would help me become a better version of myself. So as I progressed and when I got out, I was able to get a job with Good Life. And within a year, I became a fitness manager. So think about it, a year removed from being in prison, I was now a manager of other people. And I always think about that. And I think for me, I think about it from a point of view that if I can do it, anyone can. And it just requires you just to lock in on what it is that you want. I think about this because of the fact that I had every reason to not become successful. Okay? I had every reason not to become successful. But I looked at it from a point of view of I also had every reason to become successful. A lot of times what happens is that we get in our own way from that success. So when the opportunity shows up, we start getting in our own way because we start overthinking it, overanalyzing it, thinking too. I would say thinking too deeply about it. But you start doing self-sabotaging. You start talking bad about yourself. I'm not worth it. I can't do it. And it becomes these things where these are self-fulfilling prophecies. Because the same lips that you say that you can't do it are the same lips that are going to tell you that you can do it. And for me, I realize I'm like, okay, so like I get to be able to be that person that tells that story the way that I want to tell it. No one else is going to tell my story. I'm going to tell it. Now, me being at Good Life has taught me a lot, from leadership to sales. I always say that like the one thing that you can do whenever you're at in any opportunity or any business, any job, is what are the skills that you're going to need to learn in order for you to be successful wherever it is you're going next. So for me, I always knew that two things I always knew. One, I need a contingency plan to rely on by the time that I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s that I can lean on that will make me money. And one thing I realized is that speaking is that contingency plan. That's the thing that I'm going to continue working on, because I know that when I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s, that will be something I can lean on as a skill set that people will pay me for. The things that I've done, people will pay me for. And then what is my skill set? What is my make it rain skill? My make it rain skill is sales. I've been in sales since I was 18, right? And now I'm 40 and I'm still selling. And there's been times where I'm trying to get out of sales and like I'm in and out of sales. Now I'm fully in, because I realize that's my skill set. There are people that do not have that skill set, that aren't as good as me. It's a skill though, and I learned it. I didn't originally say I'm gonna become a salesperson. I didn't say I'm gonna become the top salesperson. I just said I just want to make some money. And throughout my years, I learned that, all right, well, sales is like one of the number one things you can ever do, because there's no cap to sales. You can make as much money as you want in any sort of sales, because the fact that you're selling things. If you want to make more money, you just sell more. So it became this thing that's very simple. It's like, okay, sales. And with that opportunity leads to other opportunities, and I can't discuss all the opportunities that are coming up, but I can tell you that I have a course coming out in the fall. That's an opportunity in itself, because I built that course, and it's a sales course, but it's not a traditional sales course where I'm going to teach you about reframes and how to manipulate people. That's not what I'm doing. I don't manipulate people. What I do is I focus on connection. I focus on building connections with people, because I find when you build connections with people, that's the reason why people say yes, and that's why people stay with you, especially in a B2B setting. So if you're in your 20s right now, don't rush your life. Build character, build skill sets. Your character determines what your success can hold. Let me repeat that again. The character that you build, the character that you have, that's going to determine what your success can hold. What lesson took you way too long to learn? Let me know in the comments. If this hit you hard like it should, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and watch the next video. Don't just get fit, get powerful.